I
you know.
think grief
So
purifies.
I see that.
I think grief
I believe
purifies
that, yeah.
pain and presents it as an alchemized wonderment.
Mm,
Don't go seeking out pain. But if the pain is already there,
yeah.
if we are able to name the pain, be with the pain, grieve the pain, feel it, make space for it, not run away from it,
hmm
I think what comes at the other side of that is such immense freedom.
Welcome to Rich Core Aunties, the podcast where relational skills meets radical truth.
We're your hosts, Christabel and Kachi, partners in life, in healing, and in calling things what they are.
Around here, we believe that liberation lives in how we show up for ourselves and each other.
Every episode, we get honest about conflict, care, culture, and connection, especially for those of us navigating life at the intersections of Blackness, queerness, and diaspora.
So take a breath. You're in good company. Let's get into it. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This is Rich Queer Aunties, and I'm Christabel.
And I'm Kachi.
It's been a while. I have gotten a lot of emails, DMs, in-person conversations saying that y'all missed the podcast. And honestly, I think we really miss talking as well and being on here.
Yeah. It's been a place for us to have therapy and share what's been happening and process a lot.
We have this one life to live. We're two queer Igbo girls living in America, navigating life. And we're choosing to use our free will to just discuss things that are pertinent to our lives, process trauma, celebrate joy. And so, yeah, we're back.
We're back.
And I'm so happy that you're still here listening. I'm going to start off by asking you, how have you been recently? It's a pretty loaded question, but as a queer Nigerian living in America in your mid-30s trying to do life, how has that been for you?
That actually is a loaded question. It's been a mix of things. I don't know if most of y'all know, but we recently got engaged.
Yeah.
And that has been really exciting. I never thought this would be me.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm just being honest, the way I was groomed and conditioned to marry a man, and no imagination of what it would look like to be engaged to a woman, to be in a long-term partnership. Yeah, it surprises me all the time. Where I've been, how far I've come, I've never thought to see myself here. It comes with its challenges because I don't always know a path to follow. I'm always learning constantly. So learning how to navigate conflict and learning how to speak my mind and stand up for myself and walk with more certainty and courage, or even walk with more discipline and care for my relationships and for the people that I want to be around and stay in contact with. Because I'm embarking on this new chapter, I want it to be special and I want it to be real and honest. So yeah, I've had some really deep conversations with my siblings. I've had conversations with the people that birthed me. It's still tumultuous. It's not a perfect storyline, but it's a true story arc. And me being an adult and trying to speak to my younger self who didn't see this reality for themselves, that this too is true and this too is love. And I have been imagining like what it would look like for the people that see me and love me. What would they be telling me right now? Like my grandmother on my father's side, she was one of the women that just saw me as this precious child from day one. She gave me my middle name, Onyekachi. I just imagine like how she would be so proud of me right now, or just have this soft gaze and smile. And I feel like that keeps me grounded, because outside of that, I think I can get mixed into people's fear of what they don't know, but they want to be certain that the fear of it is like the truth of it, but it's only like a portion of it, of the experience of reality. I'm always finding myself really choosing what reality do I want to embody more, despite the fear, because that's the condition that I've been raised around.
Yeah.
So a lot of navigating that, a lot of sitting in my trueness, a lot of love and a lot of patience, and just sweeping away the nonsense and the people that I don't want in my life at this point.
That's heavy work. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that work ever feels too heavy. And I ask this because I also have a reflection on what you said. When you're raised under compulsory heteronormativity, it's presented that this whole idea of finding a partner, a husband, a family man comes naturally to you. It's the way God intended it.
Or they would say nature. Or
Correct. It's the natural way of being. It's the way God made it. A marriage is between a man and a woman. And the purpose is to procreate.
Yeah.
So I find that for me, it can feel pretty interesting navigating. Number one, I'm not with a man because I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
Number two, I am choosing to live a very homosexual life. I live with a woman. I am trying to do life. And I do think that, yes, the engagement, I can see how it brought that up for you. It's a reality that we were told was not available. You know, honestly, that's even giving it too much credit. Because it's almost like if you say it's a reality that we were told was not available, it sounds like that it was even talked about in any way, at least for me. I did not know gay people existed growing up in Nigeria and Ghana. It reminds me of this thing I read once in cultures where they don't have the word for the color blue. How do they see the sky then? How do they describe what they see when they look up? So if it's something that you never saw, was never mentioned, and now you're living that is your very reality, that is indeed what feels the most natural to you, reconciling that cognitive dissonance can be a mind fuck.
Yeah. And I think doing something for the first time does bring up, oh my goodness, like a little bit of panic, but not for real. But my body goes through a series of emotions.
Yeah, because I'm like you, I've been married
that's
twice.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm a newbie in this dance. I won't say I didn't see this at all. Of course, I had fantasies. But after like several heartbreak, it just dawned on me that perhaps a reality like this doesn't exist for people like me. I would see white people or people who just don't have lived childhood trauma get to experience love this beautiful and this grand and this open and audacious. And I knew that I had that inside of me. There were no stories and there were no examples of it. So I created my own reality in my fantasy world. And a bit of that was like an escape from reality. So now in my 30s and really getting into my healing work, I'm no longer choosing to escape, really choosing to be present and acknowledge the responsibility, the discipline, the presence that it takes to be in good relation with people, to actually give myself the opportunity to know that I can repair with people. I grew up in a pretty big family, and most of us really took life by ourselves, especially on the emotional end. I think the people that raised us, I'm finding it very difficult to name them as my parents these days, because I feel like there's this label and hierarchy that I placed on them as them giving me the things that I needed as a child, and knowing that's no longer as accessible. And now I'm trying to redefine what it is that I'm seeking from them, and also just see them as human beings. So I've been finding it hard to name them as parents. So I just say the people that raised me, or I call them by their name. So yeah, it was really hard to hurt someone's feelings or feel hurt by someone and say that and name it without labeling the person a bad person or feeling like you're a bad person. That resistance to being perceived as wrong or bad makes it difficult to find goodness inside of you, to even know that you're worthy of staying in connection with someone.
So a lot of heavy work there, a lot of lifelong work
Mm-hmm.
to some extent. So for me, us getting engaged
Mm-hmm.
coincided with me turning 40. And I have looked forward to my 40th birthday since probably I was 35. And I think once I turned 35, anytime someone would ask me how old I was, I'll be like, I'm almost 40. And so to finally be 40, asking you to marry me in Colombia felt really affirming. I had made the decision 2 months prior on your birthday. I was sure, because the thing is, because I've been married twice
Mm-hmm.
and divorced twice, there's a fear associated with, oh my God, like I'm just going to be out here married 3 times. Because it's like, what am I even looking to get married for? Like, why am I even doing that? So when it occurred to me that I do want to be married to you and that it does mean something to me and that I am not going to let the trauma from the past times I have attempted to commit in this way to the people I was with keep me from actually committing in this way
Mm-hmm.
to the person that I definitely know that I want to make that commitment to. And so I had to navigate that in my brain. What would my mom say? Because as much as I'm cool with my mom, she is still homophobic light. She got comma. She's not all the way well in the head. Because
Yeah.
I think people who are homophobic are not well in the head. So I'm dealing with essentially a mad woman who is going to be all, oh my God, you people in this your lifestyle. Every day you're just getting married only to divorce. Jehovah, all that nonsense. My mom loves you. You know that. I know that. It's evidence. Shit, you don't have tattoos. You don't have hella piercings. You say, yes, ma. You know, you're perfect to her. But there's still that whole, you're getting married to
Mm-hmm.
a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to decide if I wanted to hear her mouth about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have very strong boundaries and very strong rules around how me and my mom communicate. So I wasn't worried about me being able to handle myself because if she goes low, I'm going to go lower. I didn't know if I had that energy to navigate it with her. So I didn't tell her till after the fact. And of course, she was like, yeah, you people, this your lifestyle. She did her thing. And I was like, well, yeah, this is what we're doing. And she was like, well, I love Kachi. If you
Mm-hmm.
guys are happy, then, I was going to say, she said, that's all that matters. But she didn't say that. She was just like, okay, thank you for letting me know, essentially. There's a lot of grief there.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I've been doing this work of teaching my mom how not to be a homophobic asshole, because I care about her as a human being. And I think she has the potential to be a decent human being. And I've committed the last decade to raising her by hell or high water. I'm proud of how far she's come. And there's a grief there still that I'm not going to tell my mom that I'm engaged to this person I love so, so, so much
Mm-hmm.
and have her be like, oh my God, what wonderful news. I am so happy for you. This is the best thing I've ever heard. I can't wait for the wedding. I can't wait to celebrate you guys. Knowing that that would never come, there's a pain there.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about this all the time. It's okay to understand that grief is the natural reaction to pain, and leaning into grief instead of escaping it or doing everything in our power to avoid experiencing it is the key to really long lasting healing.
Yeah.
And we're such a grief-averse society. We would rather hide it. We would rather not say it. We would rather not face the disappointment.
And that's so sad because, like you just said, that's more of a reality for people, is to hide it and not face it or live as a secret. And because I'm not choosing to do that, I'm experiencing how people truly feel about me.
Yeah.
And that's like the most difficult part of grief, is accepting that we exist and we love each other and we're committed to healing and to growing. That it might not be people's cup of tea yet, but that there are people who that is their cup of tea and that they can turn it into a lifelong healing journey, like you and your mom.
Yeah.
I truly respect the length at which you have developed and nurtured that relationship and how far she's come. And also how far other adults who are just like her are coming to terms with accepting. But I still feel very frustrated at people at where they are and not wanting to accept that that is okay for me.
Know that I accept, though. It's not acceptance in that way. I don't think it's okay for anyone to be homophobic.
Yeah, but I'm more impatient with them. Like, it's taking them a long time to get on the side of, oh, like, this is true.
But the impatience is also part of it. There's no need to remove the impatience, because whether you're patient or impatient, the time is going to come and pass.
Yeah.
So, yes. So really, what you're facing is the pain that comes from being impatient. Because it doesn't matter about your impatience or your patience. You don't move time along faster because you're impatient. You don't slow down time because you're patient. Time is the great equalizer. So your patience or impatience is inconsequential as far as how long it is going to take to navigate that journey. The way I approach it, what feels always relevant is tangible stuff. When you lean into your meditation practice, you realize that all those things are just thoughts. None of it exists.
I see what you mean.
It's all passing thoughts. It's not tangible. They're just like, okay, you're feeling impatient. That's a thought. You're feeling patient. That's a thought. You're feeling acceptable. That's a thought. You're feeling not acceptable. That's a thought. Can I notice it? Can I let it pass? And can I do something tangible? I'm a very tangible-oriented person. And so for me, that looks like reinforcing boundaries when they're crossed. Really stating and overstating, you will not talk to me that way. You will not do that. You will do this. You will do that. For me, the strength to keep going comes from my tangible actions. And I can maintain those tangible actions because I'm committed to me. I'm committed to becoming. And anybody who is in the way of that, I am going to meet them with truth, no matter what that truth looks like. And so I know a lot of people who have gone through this journey, and I'm not saying my method will work for everyone else. I feel like there are these two camps of people. People who are just like, oh, our parents are human too. It makes sense. I can just forgive them or just accept them for where they are or all these things. There's that camp of people.
Okay.
And so they want to be kind. They want to be gentle with them. They want to discuss discuss issues with them from a place of respect. I don't worry myself with any of that shit. If I'm disrespectful, I'm disrespectful. If I cuss you out, I cuss you out. If I'm disobedient, I'm disobedient. Whatever the journey asks for, my only commitment is to meet that ask with truth. I'm not precious about, did I cuss my mom out or did I not? And again, I'm not saying that approach works for everyone, but it freed me. Because I realized that it's conditioning, this idea that you need to talk to your parents this specific way and not that specific way. And I'm just like, fuck that. You're literally telling me I'm an abomination. In what world with whoever Will I ever accept that and be like, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I just disagree with you. No, I'm going to say, fuck you. You're an abomination. You call me an abomination. I'm going to call you an abomination. For me, that is the truest place I can be, because already the worst has happened.
Mm-hmm.
The worst is my parent does not accept me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
That is the worst it can get. And so once I'm clear that a lack of acceptance of my truest nature is the worst possible state, then I'm just going to meet you in truth, whatever that truth looks like.
I agree with you. And I'm seeing how our realities differ so much. You grew up in Nigeria and in Ghana, and I'm over here growing up in the US and partly in Nigeria, and I'm not always in close proximity with them, you know? So a lot of these engagements and conflict is happening through text, through phone calls, through short meetings when I'm visiting from college or small moments. So all the gap that's happening in between is like silence. I tell them exactly what I need as far as them to continue being a part of my life, where they've wronged me, what they're doing, how that's not fair, and all these things. And then I get stonewall. So wanting to use a strategy like yours, it's like I almost don't see any different behavior from them than more silence. And it's really unfortunate because I feel like parents that have multiple children, they don't treat each child special. They can cuss this one out. They can baby this one. They can love up on this one. They'll treat this one as the golden child, the black sheep. Yeah, it's really challenging to navigate being taken seriously.
Yeah, I have certain privileges there. I was raised by a single mom. It was just me, her, and my brother. And so I've always been in a position to be really outspoken. I mean, I got punished heavily for it. And also, I think it's a personality thing and a family structure thing. My mom and I are both very strong-willed, combative people, baseline. We're not silent treatment people. I came out when I was 28 years old, and I had already been in the U.S. for 7 years. I moved to the U.S. when I was 21, and I came out when I was 28. And so it was all distance. Like all this communication, when I came out, I posted it on Facebook for everyone to see. So me and my mom just mostly communicate through WhatsApp, right? We see each other once a year and that's it. But we communicate. We don't back down from a fight. So, and I think that's what's really different between me and how you move with your birth givers. I don't know. We just don't back down from a fight. So it works well. So I don't know how to weaponize silence to get my needs met or how to like fight them on that tier. If I had parents who were more silent treatment people and avoidant people, I honestly don't even know how I would utilize that. But I think ultimately it will still come back to truth. Is keeping quiet the truest in that situation for you? Then I guess silence can, you live your life, they live their life. I will say that what I've seen with you that has changed a lot was it used to be they will keep silent about these other things, but they will check in on you about your health because you're going through a medical emergency, and you'd be conversing with them and you would be totally in telling them about your doctor's appointment.
And honestly, I can see how my behavior would track, especially if you've been silenced and you're giving this moment of attention, wanting to use that as a way to still maintain connection.
You've changed that narrative.
Oh,
You're
yeah. Now
no longer doing that.
There was a point where I did have to tell Ignatius that I don't want you to be calling if you're not going to check up on me other than my health.
Yeah.
Ask about Christabel. Because at the time when I had my injury, they hadn't met you in person, but they saw you. And Teresa came and she took care of me and everything. They know that you exist.
Yeah.
And they're very selective on what they keep silent about and what they show attention to. So having that moment to have that talk with him. We did not talk for a couple months, but then when he called me, he did ask about you. It's like it's changing little bits,
I want
and
to
then
affirm. That's ultimately what I'm saying.
then they revert back.
There's no
to
reversion. There's no revert.
I know what you mean. I had to take a very strong approach to how I wanted to be talked to.
Because here's the thing about that. What I'm trying to do is affirm you that in the almost 4 years of being together, I have seen how you have changed your dance step, and the dance is changing.
It's very slow.
It doesn't have to be fast.
It comes with many doubts.
What is this idea that it has to be fast?
I'm noticing what is happening in between the moments. And I think I start to panic sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I start to have doubts. Because the last conversation that we had, I had sent them a text message right before we traveled to see my grandmother for her 90th birthday. I told them if they're not going to allow us to stay in the house, in the main house, then we'll just won't come. And they didn't talk to me. They didn't say anything. I sent Teresa a text as well, and she didn't say anything. So then we showed up. We showed up to the party. We were looking really good. And the whole time, they didn't know what to do. Like at some moments he would be avoiding you, he would be avoiding me, would walk past each other, he wouldn't look at me, she wouldn't look at me either. And it was just a weird, messy interaction.
You did not fawn. You did not go, daddy, mommy, this, that, the other.
Man, I didn't know what they were coming with. I knew that I was feeling great. And I just was going to keep that energy. But I know because I'm coming back to the town that I grew up in with all the people that I used to go to church with when I was younger. So they all have this like air about them. But I will say when I walked into the place for the first time, I recognized that everyone are like literally panicking. Like they're scared. I'm just out here to exist, but in my own existence, people are realizing how challenged they are to be themselves.
Yeah.
How difficult it is for them to express. Interestingly enough, one of my uncles, he's like selectively mute. The first thing he did when he saw me was just like, Onyi, how are you? I was like, what? You rarely say anything when I see you.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you look good. I was like, oh, thank you. And I realized that the people that approached me, they could still see me and say hi. I recognized them more.
Yeah.
Whereas before, so many people would be wanting to get my attention, or they would be taking me around to chaperone their children to like, oh, this is my child. This is the one that's the doctor, the engineer. None of that happened. And I felt like I could really be my own self.
And I think that's a testament to the work that you've done.
I don't realize this for myself. I think a lot of times I just assume that it's going to be constantly painful.
You took your queer ass tattoo from head to toe, piercings everywhere, partner to your grandmother's 90th birthday party with everyone you grew up in church with and all the aunties and uncles. And you went there and you did not perform and you did not fawn. You did not try to make nice. You were unapologetic. And I think that right there is the working.
Yeah.
Even within the discomfort of it. Because yes, there was a lot of discomfort, but if you look back, you would not have been able to do that.
That's true.
I
wouldn't even show up.
Exactly.
I would have panicked and not shown up. That would have been like my old strategy.
I posted this question on my threads. I asked the question, if you're African and queer and you haven't come out and you're not dependent on your parents, and in fact, maybe they're even dependent on you, can you say why you haven't come out? Are you able to identify that? If you were to hire a coach to coach you around that, what would you ask for coaching on? Again, you're African, you're queer, you're not dependent on your parents. Your parents may be dependent on you, but you're not out to your parents. You don't talk about your partner to your parents. Why? And this is not to shame anyone. No one needs to come out. That we get that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're actively hiding parts of yourself, what are you not grieving? Or what are you avoiding grieving? Because I think that's what it is. There is an active avoidance of grief.
That's actually good that you pointed that out. Practicing grieving can allow you to see your liberation. It can let you envision how you can stay present in yourself and know that what you're feeling is true. Know that what you're fighting for is true. Know that your reality is true.
Yeah.
And you just like affirming that the work is working by me being there is actually true.
Yeah.
Because when I wasn't doing the work and I was in a previous relationship and these people were in my town, they were here in California.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to come to an event and I ghosted their calls.
Yeah.
It was like a constant panic the entire week they were here because I was like, oh shit, what if they see me? Or like all these things would go through my head.
Meanwhile, you were out to the rest of the world.
I was out in the Bay Area for sure.
Yeah.
So like even that question really is true. Me avoiding the experience of my grief, going through the grief, sitting with it, talking about it with you in therapy, with self, has allowed me to just reap some of the fruits that I've really labored for. Nurturing myself, preserving my dignity, my attention to myself, my attention to the things that I love, to the people that I love, recognizing that, showing them off, like bragging, like actually, what they call it, is it mesaro? In mesaro, like to just like relax a little bit more. Uncovering all that burden from my heart does allow that like relaxation of the body.
I think grief purifies.
So, I see that.
I think grief purifies pain and presents it as an alchemized wonderment. And don't go seeking out pain. But if the pain is already there, if we are able to name the pain, be with the pain, grieve the pain, feel it, make space for it, not run away from it, I think what comes at the other side of that is such immense freedom.
Yeah.
It's freedom that is hard won. It's freedom that is not just like
your theory.
It's not
like
theory.
You worked.
You actually did the thing. You faced the truth of your existence. And I think there's no greater freedom than that.
Yeah.
People, lean into grief. Lean into your grief practices. Cry more. Mourn more. Seek corners in your life where truth does not exist. Examine if you are avoiding the truth because you want to avoid the pain and the grief that comes from facing the truth. And I encourage you, and I think it's important, it's not just a self-serving exercise. This is how we become good ancestors. This is how when we leave this world, the people who come after us are going to say, queer Africans existed. It's not going to be this big debate we're having all over the world. Is homosexuality African? Or did it even exist to begin with? Because so much has been hidden. Me daring to grieve the people who won't accept me and the conditions that are not always as I would want them to be means that I get to show up for myself. I get to show up for the younger generation. I get to show up for a better world that says, I was here, I existed, and I lived, and I thrived. So, yeah, kudos to the work, because I can see how silence, it will be harder, because I'm a duke it out kind of girl. I'm a baddies, shadow clock girl. You know what I'm saying? Because there's something that there's purification that comes from that process of just like getting at it. And that's why I will fight anyone any day who tells me that oh, yelling is worse than silence. I don't agree at all because, girl, what are we even talking about?
I feel like inside of me, I am that.
Yeah,
I'm very stubborn. I'm strong-willed.
I know that.
I'm very angry a lot. And I was just in a family setting that could not hold that for me. Every time I would react or respond, it would be like, ugh, are you from us? I'm like, actually, maybe I'm not, but I'm here to tell you a message.
Yeah.
You people should hear it and allow yourself to be, because it is the ones that are scapegoated in the family that tend to be the healers, the medicine people, the wise one, the reincarnation of their ancestors. And it feels very difficult to be able to speak with them, especially if there's all this egoic complex that makes it difficult to just communicate.
All that to say that we're very happy that we're engaged.
We are. It's amazing.
Because of the grief.
And because of the grief.
We
are. And because of it, yes. Yeah. We made a fucking choice.
Of it,
yeah.
As we plan what the wedding is going to look like, who is going to be there, all of it feels so deeply true and really grounded and enriching. And the people who don't get to bask in our light, oh my God, what a loss for them.
What a fucking loss.
What a loss for them, because have you met us? We're so cute. And oh my gosh, the wedding is going to be so fucking adorable. So we just got our sea legs back underneath us.
That's what that looks like.
Yeah, coming back to the podcast. If it felt a little rambly, it's because we haven't done this in a while. We're going to try to put out an episode every week and find the most easeful way to do it, because I think there's so much to talk about. Let us know in the comments if any of this resonated with you. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What resonated the most? And also let us know, what is your grief process? How do you lean into truth, even if it results in pain and grief? And what do you think of the alchemizing abilities of grief to transform pain into joy? I'm really curious about your thoughts.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
Well, we're back, bitches. Let's go.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Rich Queer Aunties. If this moves something in you, share it with someone you love. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or slide into our DMs with your reflections.
You can find us on Instagram and everywhere on social media. Rich Queer Aunties, Christabel and Kachi. Thank you for being with us.